Hello and welcome to Aha Moments. This one is entitled Right Away, as in WRITE, and it was originally sent out on April 9th. So if you were on the email list and you received this on April 9th and you popped on for the elaborate discussion, welcome. That's awesome. If you're not, if you didn't receive it, then hey, we're happy to share that aha moment with you. I'm actually going to read it to you so that you get it here, and then we'll have a little bit of a discussion on it. But you can get your own aha moments directly to your email every Monday morning at 8 a.m. All you need to do is subscribe at ahumanapproach.com. So hop on there and get the aha moment and some of the other fun things that we're sharing. Okay. Actually, what's really cool is what's happening in our membership program. The membership program is called Human You, where you'll never graduate. So we're evolving creatures, right? We're always learning, we're always growing, and we're learning and growing one aha moment at a time. So that's where a human approach came from. Aha. You ready? I'm going to read the aha moment for this week, and then let's have some comments on it. Here we go. Just call it up here right away. What do you think of schools removing cursive writing from their teachings? I suppose you can argue that of the 3 R's, writing can be deemed communication, and maybe they'll replace hieroglyphics in grade 4 curriculum with a course on emojis. I'm reminding of a card I gave to a young family member heading off to university last fall. I dropped over to say good luck with a financial gift inside my sentiments. She opened the card, marveled at my choice of greetings, and stumbled as she attempted to read my message, confessing they no longer use cursive in school. I asked, would you like me to read it to you? Now, I'll admit that my handwriting has deteriorated over the years. So oftentimes, if someone can't decipher my creativity, I simply say, make something up that puts a smile on your face. Being pushed to become tech dependent doesn't sit well with me, though. Plus, graphology, handwriting analysis, can reveal much about your personality and traits. It's like studying body language, adds validation to your instincts and tell you about another. Cursive is like a lie detector. In fact, I'd be a fan of people having to write job applications with a pen and paper and in person. You can determine if they have attention to detail, finish what they start, the intensity of their emotions, independent and tendencies, or be shy or outgoing. Can you see how much can be hidden in a computer-generated application, likely assisted by AI? At what point do we push back on this railroad towards online and a cookie cutter approach to celebrate and express our divine human uniqueness? Aha. Continue to click no to the question, the answer to the question, are you a robot? Strange that it's a bot that asks if we're human, right? Technology is a wonderful servant, but can strip us of sensory expression. I called a shop today because of an order of edibles was delivered poorly. The contents of the box strewn across the porch, likely it fell off a ledge it was left on. I was on hold for a few minutes with the auto attendant repeatedly suggesting that if I wanted to check a delivery, create an order, any other number of things, I could do so on the website. Eventually, the message stopped looping and the computer simply flipped me into voicemail. No, I did not receive a return phone call. Cursive, loops, dots, crosses, and flare reveal much about an individual. More importantly, writing with an instrument causes thinking. The tactile pen, crayon, brush, chalk, pencil, requires engagement of different muscles. It's sensory. The expression is distinctive too, like a fingerprint, and creates a level of independence, like sewing, carpentry, cooking, and other life skills that in the bigger scheme of things behooves us to own. Technology has its conveniences, but we need to put the brakes on when it does our thinking for us. I'm of the mind to send that edible shop a handwritten note. So that's the aha for this week on Right Away. So what do you think of cursive writing? I will go and say that I may be old school about receiving a personal card in the mail is always a wonderful thing, and I think it puts a little bit of a surprise on somebody's face when they receive something that somebody actually put some effort into. But I think a few things that were on the aha about cursive writing, it certainly reveals a lot about your personality. So you know the loops in your E's, where you cross your T's, where you dot your I's, and how you dot, how much pressure you put in the writing instrument, what the slant is, whether you're writing sort of uphill or downhill. I mean, all of those things reveal so much about you. And being somebody who studies human beings, I find that really fascinating. So I can pick up handwriting, and I know some basics, so I can pick up, just like body language. I know some basics in body language. I can pick up fairly quickly where a person is at. And as I said, it kind of validates your instinct, because your instinct is paying attention to all kinds of patterns, and it can pick up lots of things. So I think from a revealing standpoint, when I said doing job applications, in a handwritten form, before you even read the job application, you would be able to tell a lot about that individual, just by their handwriting. So that's kind of cool in itself. But I think it's the, studying with Bob Proctor years ago, he used to always say writing causes thinking. So it's a different level of engagement of thinking than when you're on a computer. So you're on a computer or you're texting, whatever. It's a different level of engagement. When you actually have that pen or chalk or brush or crayon or something in hand, there's an expression that is happening through you, and the engagement of the muscles and the thinking is a very different exercise than it is when you're just producing on a keyboard. So I am a big fan of reminding ourselves on a regular basis that we are unique creatures, we are divine, we are designed for an experience here on Earth, and to live through that experience to our fullest expression. So when we allow technology to not be the servant that it is, but to become a slave to it, and technology does our thinking, and we get very railroaded into becoming that number, that's when I get a little afraid, because I feel that rather than stepping into our uniqueness and being responsible and independent, like I said, it's not just, the writing. What happens if the computer goes down? And I know people say, oh, the internet never go down and go back up. Of course it will, because that's how we transact. But let's understand that, there are times when you don't have cell service, or you don't have access to something, or your computer shuts down. There's a million things that can happen. Having that independence in being able to write a note, being able to spell appropriately, understanding how to put a sentence together without having the computer to aid you. And, all the other skills that we mentioned, carpentry and sewing and cooking and the other life skills, that if you are always dependent on somebody else with, to do your cooking, to, grow your food and everything, if you're dependent on everybody for everything, that independence that you should have, because you are, a creative being that is plugged in, to everything else, that independence puts you a little bit at risk. So, not suggesting that you need to own all of those skills, but if you're in a community that maybe somebody's a carpenter and somebody's a plumber and everybody kind of has their own thing, then that's wonderful. But the more independent we can be in owning some of those skills, and writing, to me, being one of the very, very basic ones, then I think that the more, I don't want to say successful, more satisfied, the more trust we can have in ourselves. So if something does hit the fan, that that you can take care of things because you have a certain level of skills, right? If you don't understand how to work your money, and you've only been at a job, you've never run a business, like there's so many things that if you haven't done that, you haven't explored that, you haven't pushed yourself to learning to be independent in all of these different ways, there's probably a level of trust that it has eroded to a certain degree, that if something does hit the fan, that excuse me, that you are dependent on a system, on other people, on the grocery store and whatever. The other day, the power went out in here, and it was kind of like, okay, well, I was working, so I mean, I can work offline. That's not a thing. And then I started kind of looking around thinking, okay, what happens when I get hungry? Looking at how I was going to make some food, what was available. And, it was just a quick reminder about being self-sufficient. And, as I said, having that level of trust that if something does happen, that you're not going to panic, that you can take care of yourself. So bit of an extreme, conversation to say how important writing is, but I think in the bigger picture, it is about, writing being our uniqueness. So let's not lose it. And the fact that, again, on the flip side, let's not allow ourselves to be so tech dependent that tech is doing the thinking for us. Let's exercise all of those muscles that we have on a regular basis and trust ourselves to be everything we can be. Okay. How's that sound? Looking forward to your comments. And by all means, comment, share, email me back, if you have any suggestions or experience shares or something to do with this, or if there's a particular experience or topic that you want to cover in AHA Moments, I am certainly open to delving into that. So let's do that together. Okay. Have a wonderful day. And as always, succeed deliberately.